Hello, this is Thomas Donald Jacobs for Paperboys on Thursdays, and today's topic is: do you have a support pet, and how has that helped? Um, I don't have a support pet. I have kind of a mini zoo going on, as some of you may have noticed by the backgrounds in these vlogs. I have giant African land snails, Indonesian stick insects, fruit beetles, two types of cockroaches, and five different species of millipedes, and a cat. I used to just have ferrets. Um, the thing about the ferrets is that while they did help me a lot in terms of helping to decrease my anxiety, in some ways they actually didn't help in the sense that they could not be left alone. They were a little too mischievous. They would destroy everything within reach as much as I loved them. And also, they all tended to end up the same way because of massive overbreeding in domestic ferret populations. The end was never good. So I got the snails instead, and my collection of creepy crawlies just kind of grew from there. And then I recently picked up Kitty um, from a friend who could no longer keep her um, because her circumstances had changed. Having the mini zoo that I have has vastly improved my emotional health in a lot of ways. Even if I'm having a really bad day, and today was one of those days, knowing that um, there are a bunch of little beings that depend upon me to take care of them, but without the kind of same level of demands placed upon me by actual people in my life, um, helps to keep me going. Even if I'm having the most wretched of days, everybody in the zoo still requires care, but it's not things that are entirely outside of my reach. Um, they eat mostly what I eat, for example. So mostly vegetables. Um, and that's easy enough to do. And then the only other things that they need are light, water, and heat, and I have to provide those for myself, anyways. So doing that for them is not an undue burden of any kind. I also like the fact that most of them are pretty slow moving. Um, I don't have to try to estimate where they're going to be in a matter of moments because it's going to take that long for them to get anywhere. So it's kind of a very calming sort of thing. Um, and as for Kitty, um, I like the fact that often if I'm having a really bad moment during the day, and they usually tend to come between 4 and 6 in the afternoon and 3 and 4 in the morning, she will often come and lay on top of me. I haven't trained her to do that. It's just a thing that she seems to know that I'm more receptive to petting her and paying attention to her at that time than at any other. So that's good. And it's also good, I realize, given my tendency towards forming collections, that she hates, absolutely hates all other animals and creatures the face of the planet. So even though I had like a crazy moment where I was, I woke up and she was on top of me and I thought, ooh, that's nice. She's purring. I could do with three more of those. I realized, like after this moment where I was like, why? What is to be gained? I had that brief uh, moment of clarity where I was like, that would not be a good idea to like replicate this in the form of other cats all at once. Um, she tolerates the mini zoo, doesn't pay any attention to anyone in it apart from my Madagascar hissing cockroaches, which she has taken a particular dislike to. But to be fair, they don't like her furry little ass either. And as far as I can tell, she doesn't even know that the rest of the animals in the apartment are even things. So, on the whole, it's worked out. Um, I wish sometimes that I could take them with me to help calm me down. And in particular, I wish that I could take Fluffy with me because I have a feeling that he would solve many of my travel problems. If I had a giant African land snail sitting next to me on the seat, on the train, for example, I have strong suspicions that this would discourage other people randomly coming up and sitting next to me, even though there are plenty of free seats elsewhere. Um, it's not that I think that I'm entitled to two spots. It's just that I'm often taking the train home at a time of day in which I am not prepared to deal for the company of strangers. In the mornings, it's largely okay. In the afternoons, if I'm coming home between 4 and 6, as I often am, it's a lot less okay. I can't show you everyone. This video isn't going to be that long, but so that you have an idea of like how big the zoo is, I'll just pan a bit. So there are snails, beetles, stick insects. The cockroaches are down below. That's my W's, and that's the hissers. And then I have a stack of medium-sized millipedes, my gigas, which are the largest millipedes, the speckle-legged Gonin millipedes closest, and then on the far end, the bumblebees. And you can just see a little tank on the end. Those are baby snails that I have reserved for a friend of mine's child. Um, I'm not going to take anyone out and show them to you except for Fluffy because he is, I have to say, my favorite. You shouldn't have favorites, but I do. I just pry him loose from the lid of the container I set him down in. This is Fluffy, the giant African land snail. He is not quite full grown, in fact. He is just extraordinarily large for his size. Because he's kind of a pig, I have to say. Um, I use male pronouns for him, but in fact, giant African land snails are hermaphrodites. And so Fluffy has both male and female sex organs and can, in fact, fertilize itself if I did not have a partner snail in the tank, which I do, Albus. Of course, there's a Harry Potter theme, just as there was with my ferrets. But Albus is very shy, and Fluffy is absolutely not. and you can just see Kitty's tail. She's over here demanding attention right now. I did introduce her to Fluffy, and they touched noses and then went on their separate ways. Albus, for its part, wanted nothing to do with Kitty, thinking, this thing eats fish. I ain't taking any chances, and just slurped itself back into its shell. But you can see why I think that if I were inclined or if able to take Fluffy on the train with me on bad times, I probably would have fewer problems. Because I think that Fluffy is adorable, but a lot of people think that Fluffy is creepy as fuck. Absolutely not the case, though. Way cool. And so that was it for this week's vlog, and I will see you soon. Bye.